All right, Coach. Just give us your thoughts on your home opener here to kick off the home games this season.
Yeah, just not good enough execution. As you watched it live, and then again back over video. Just lack of execution and a lot in critical moments. And when you play good people, another ranked team, you can't do those things. So proud of the guys' effort. It was amazing. I think that they played hard. They fought throughout the entire game. Really proud of that. We moved the ball offensively really well against a good defense, and then just struggled, execution in some areas, and third down defense was poor. Just didn't have a good complementary football game.
Coach, lots of, like, no one wants to be 0-2 in this point in the season, but I don't think that some people out there realize that this is kind of the point of non-district games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, scheduling these ranked opponents is going to do nothing but
Well, I
make
totally
Bobcats
agree.
better.
I think I might have said this last week, but some people schedule for comfort and some people schedule for challenge. And my track record as a head coach has been to schedule for challenge. And I want to play really good people that test your team, so you can see some areas that your team needs to improve upon or things that you need to focus on a little bit more. I think the entire point of a non-district schedule is to get you ready to play your district schedule. So these first two opponents certainly have provided that for us. When you play a couple of ranked teams with veteran teams that return 16, 17 starters, both of them that we played, you are going to be tested, and I do believe the benefit of that will come.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, we talked about it a little bit after the game about how the offense performed.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of explosives. Talk about how you're able to kind of transfer the mistakes of week one and then get ready by week two and have that performance.
Yeah, I think we saw a lot of improvement from week one to week two there. I still challenged our offensive staff in here. We need to run the football better. I think ultimately establishing a strong running game helps everything out that you do, and we haven't been able to quite do that yet. We play two defenses that stack the box and really don't want to let you run the ball, so that has something to do with it as well. But I want us to establish a more physical ground game. But I was really pleased, with how we moved the ball. Got it first and goal on the 2. We got a score right there. Those are things that you have to do when you play really good people, and we need to execute better in those areas. But I was very proud. We were able to move the ball, almost throughout the entire game, and a lot of big plays in the passing game as well, and it paid off.
Coach, we spoke after the game about just kind of not getting off the field on third downs and things like that. Part of that was the play, I believe it was a 3rd and 8 going into halftime, and then they had the big shot there. It looked like man defense there, just from what I saw. Is that something that you maybe will evaluate for your third downs going forward? Something that you're going to
I think that it was poor third down defense, and again, that's another kind of just walk off right there at the end of the half. We two weeks in a row. We bottled up the quarterback at Abilene High, and he leaks it out for an 81-yard run, and then one guy out of position and the eyes in the wrong spot, not doing the right thing, and here comes a big play. So that play, and then many other third downs, it was just a challenge, for us, and a lot of it was just execution, not having our eyes in the right spot, getting one guy that's doing the wrong thing, misaligned on several occasions, and then and they got good skill, and they can make one move and put you on your heels, and then you're in trouble. So yes, everything's kind of evaluated all the time. You always can look back and think, man, I wish I would have called this or done this during this particular moment. But we certainly have to get better on third down, and a lot of those were third and longs. When you got them in third and long, you can do some more creative things back there, get more eyes on the quarterback and drop back and play a little bit more zone coverage in those situations, force them to check the ball down and then tackle and off the field. So which we did, a little bit later in the game, and was successful doing that. But yes, we gotta do a better job on third down. I was frustrated about it Friday night, still am today, and but it has been a point of emphasis, this week.
On a more positive note, Coach, it looks like your quarterback and your wide receiver core took a definite step forward. Guys were open downfield. They were catching the ball. Micah was delivering the ball on time. Talk about your offense.
Well, protection is where it all starts, and that was good. I was really proud of our offensive line and our running backs and tight ends that were involved in pass pro. Whenever whoever was in the game, protection has got to be a priority to you, from running backs to tight ends to offensive linemen. We take pride in that, and the wideouts do a great job of congratulating the O-linemen and those guys whenever they do catch the ball, because they know, there's a lot that goes on up in there. But we protected well. That's the first thing. Micah saw the field well, got it to people in the right spots, and we were able to make a lot of big plays in the passing game. Wideouts did a great job catching the ball.
Yeah, talk about having Golden Hill back on the field after basically missing all of last season, and kind of what he brings to you guys.
Yeah, just another dynamic of a skill set that allows him to, not only is he a good route runner, but he understands defense. He can get open. He's got tremendous ball skills when the ball is in the air. A couple of those were ultra competitive plays, and he comes down with it. We tell our wideouts, if we get you in a one-on-one situation, we've done our job as coaches. Not everybody's just a wide open guy where they have a bust, but whenever it's one-on-one, you got to make a play. And Colton is certainly a guy that when the ball's in the air, he's going to make the play more often than not. So he did a great job in competitive situations on Friday night, and we just expect him to do it again this week.
Coach, back at home this week, Abilene Cooper comes to town. What do you see on paper with them that may show the home crowd a little bit different on defense? What do you see?
Another good team coming in here. They lost to Abilene High last week in kind of a similar point differential than we did. So I expect a balanced game as they come in here, and hopefully the improvement that you see from week to week, it pays off. I think our team is definitely tilting in the right direction. Offensively for sure, defensively, let's get better on third down. Let's play a complementary game. That was my challenge to the team this week, is that we were firing on defense at points and we're firing on offense at points, and we need to put that together and play a nice complementary game.
One thing that Abilene Cooper always brings to the table every year is a lot of speed. How important, and I know everyone's going to say you got to stop the explosive play, but how important is containing those running backs whenever they get on the edge?
And they got a good quarterback that can get the ball to them in a variety of different ways, and they do a good job schematically of getting the ball to their playmakers. And I think that you have to get people on the ground, but you have to gang tackle. You got to put people in position where their eyes are on the football and they can go. So it requires maybe a little less man coverage than normal. You got a bunch of eyes just on their man. It's hard to get gang tackles towards the ball that way. So if we can do a good job on run defense on early downs and allow us to play a little more zone, on those third down situations, that's going to definitely be to our benefit.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you, guys.